Hi, my name is Saudamini Amare and I've recently qualified as a solicitor in England and Wales. I'm an Indian qualified lawyer and I'm practicing as an advocate at the Bombay High Court at the moment. I graduated in 2019 from the University of Mumbai. Thereafter, I pursued my LLM in Comparative and International Dispute Resolution from the Queen Mary University of London. Post my LLM in London, I had the opportunity of interning in a law firm in the city itself. That is when I was exposed to a variety of English laws and I worked upon several matters, right from criminal matters to commercial contracts as well. It was then when I decided that I would qualify as a solicitor in England and Wales through the SQE route. My aim was to pass the SQE assessments at the first attempt. Also, this was the first ever sitting of the SQE exams. I therefore decided to go with a reputed course provider, and QLTS school has been providing training for the past decade. Therefore, I chose QLTS school. I've had a very positive experience studying with QLTS school. The course is very well structured and the modules are explained in details in the books. You also have access to video lectures and revision notes which assist you in the preparation for the assessments. The concepts are thoroughly explained in the notes, and I personally believe that QLTS prepares you for way beyond than what is required in the assessments. Also, not to forget, the flashcards are an excellent way to revise, and QLTS is very innovative with regards to that. I studied regularly almost every day, and I made sure that I dedicated at least 4 to 5 hours on an average. There were days, of course, where I could only dedicate like a couple of hours. However, I used to cover it up during the weekends when I did not have any work commitments. Initially, when I started studying for the exam, I was working as well with my senior who was practicing insolvency. My senior was extremely supportive of my study and he acknowledged how difficult the SQE assessments were. He was in fact very delighted when he came to know that I qualified. The mock tests are an integral part of the preparation. I believe the mock tests give you an idea as to how well prepared you are, and the difficulty level of the mocks is the same as that of the SQE assessments. I therefore suggest that solving the mocks regularly will help you to a great extent. I look forward to a career in international arbitration, and I believe qualifying as an English solicitor will not only open several opportunities for me in India and England, but across several parts of the world. Law firms all over the globe value English qualification. Yes, indeed. I believe it is very important for you to roll with a well-reputed course provider. Not only will you study in a systematic manner, but the guidance from the well-experienced tutors at QLTS will help you a long way with the assessments. I would advise analyzing your personal circumstances at first, along with your work commitments. This is important so that you can decide how much time you can devote each day for the studies. I would recommend to start preparing for the assessments at least 6 months in advance and try to dedicate at least a couple of hours every day. Although the assessments are difficult, they are not impossible to crack if you are consistent. I believe a modern lawyer should not only be legally skilled, but should also be aware of the news and updates related to their practice areas. Clients will appreciate the industry knowledge that lawyers possess, as it affects the legal advice and also their businesses in turn. Apart from that, it is very essential to be familiar with the legal scenarios in other jurisdictions, as the world is very closely connected these days.